Sounds good. I'm ready.
All right. Hello to everyone. As we are letting our friends in from the waiting room, I just want to remind everyone to please put your name and your program name into the chat as we are getting participants to load in. Just want to welcome everyone back today. Today is our final tiny training on this growth mindset series, and it's a good one. I'm really excited for everyone who's here for it today, and I'm looking forward to hearing everyone's feedback on it. So that's great. While we're just letting the last couple people in, also while you're putting your name and your program name into the chat, if we could also just do a quick chat and say if you're a fan of New Year's resolutions or if you hate them. So let's do love them, hate them in the chat for New Year's resolutions. Do we love them or do we hate them? Okay, I see some loves. I got a neutral. Love and hate. All right. Hate them. I'm all about making changes throughout the year. Steph dislikes them. I gotcha. There's some love, there's some hate, there's some neutral in here. And there's some love and hate. I get it. That's awesome. All right. Well, we're going to talk about resolutions a little bit today, but really what we're going to just focus on
Okay.
today is how to have a new year and a new reset for you and how to reset your year without it feeling like a resolution and how we're going to take this growth mindset and improve on our year. And so let's just get started. I want to remind everyone that Montana Childcare Business Connect is a part of 0 to 5 Montana, and we're the business supports side of 0 to 5 Montana. And our hopes, goals, dreams, everything that we'd love to see happen for you and your childcare program is that we want to see childcare programs in Montana open. We'd love to see them grow and become bigger. Most important to me in my heart is I want to see your program sustain. I'd like to see it live and last into the future, even if you're ready to go on to your next step, that you have a program that you're ready to sell and hand off to the next person. And then obviously, we want all entrepreneurs and small businesses to thrive, and earning a profit is part of that thriving. And that's our hopes and goals for you. I want to point out to you guys one great training that starts tomorrow. So if anyone's heard anything about childcare management software or any comments about things that can streamline your business practices, if you're interested in one of them, we do have a new partner. Early Learning Ventures has a product that's called Alliance Core. It's a childcare management software. That training starts tomorrow at 1:30, and it's going to be a 5-week training. And we will have Virginia Marsh from Early Learning Ventures on with us. She'll be sharing how to use the software, what it can do for you in your program, and if it can help you streamline your business best practices. So you can register for that on ECP, and I can throw the link in at the end of the training today as well. And we're here, you guys. We're at the finale. It's super sad, bittersweet for me, because this has been an amazing 5-week series. I'm just so happy that all of you decided to join it. And I am looking forward to hearing how everyone liked this training. So. February's begun, and this is a great time to check in on those New Year's resolutions. So, how would you guys say you're doing on your New Year's resolutions? Let's just say we're still on the train or that we're off the track. So, if you're still on the train, I want to see hands. I am seeing very few hands. Anyone off the track? Has that resolution? Yeah. And have any of our trained cars fallen over on their sides? Okay. Because that is 100% what tends to happen. I have some really fun New Year's resolution statistics that I want to share with you guys. So, only 9% of Americans successfully keep their resolutions. But it's funny because it's such a huge tradition that we do here in America, but only 9% of us keep them. 23% of people quit within the first week. So those people are already off and their train is sideways. But 43% of people who create a New Year's resolution quit by the end of January. No more resolutions. And then we have a special name for the second Friday in February, which is called Quitter's Day. And this is when typically over 80% of people have abandoned their resolutions completely. So Quitter's Day is coming up not this Friday, but next Friday. And I just want to prevent us from being on that 80% list. I think we can do something because we're not going to make resolutions. We're really trying to do a reset, a leadership reset with this training today. I will say that I did do some research to see like what do most people do resolutions on, and this was the example. So I think health, money, relationship, career, y'all kind of feel like those are pretty typical resolution categories. Yeah. Well, we're going to focus on some career resolutions today. We're going to talk about what we can do um, for becoming a growth-oriented professional. So we are doing a growth mindset reset for the new year. And the most important thing for me to do is to get you guys thinking about identity. And we've talked about this in every single class, that a growth mindset isn't about where you're succeeding and failing. It's about who you're becoming. And the important thing for me that you guys take away the most from here is that there's no good or bad, that there's just growth, learning, moving forward. So today is not about setting resolutions, and it's certainly not about fixing yourself, and it's not about becoming a different person in this new year. Today is about recognizing your identity. And over the last 5 weeks, we've talked about effort, we've talked about mistakes, we've talked about self-talk and learning, and we've talked about confidence. And today we're going to bring all of it together and we're going to ask you a simple but powerful question. Who am I becoming as a professional? I'm going to pause for a minute. Anyone wants to feel brave enough as we're going through this training? I'm going to put Jacqueline to the test of watching our chat. But if you think you know who you're becoming as a professional, as you get confident in there, if confidence has already happened for you, I'd love for you to just share in the chat who you think you're becoming. Because that's going to be important as we move towards the end of today's training. So most New Year's goals fail not because people don't care about them, but it actually is because they're literally built on self-criticism. And I am, in case you didn't know, not a fan of that. Um, the message that is under so many of our resolutions is, I should be better by now. And like you've learned throughout this training, that neuroscience tells us that that is shame-based motivation. And shame-based motivation is the largest demotivator there is out there. It shuts our brains down and it doesn't want to do anything. When the brain senses threat, when it senses judgment, it's going to shift into protection mode. And that means less creativity, absolutely less problem solving, and that's where less growth happens. And so growth mindset is going to work because it just removes that threat. And then that's where real learning happens, where real creativity takes place, and it creates safety. It's a safety that allows our brain to actually change. And that's really what we want to get to. Um, so what I really want to focus on today is the big idea. And the big idea, this is your anchor, and it's the idea for today. And I want to talk to you a little bit about it. So there's a difference between strategies and identity, okay? And strategies are things that we try when conditions are good, okay? So when things are good, a strategy might be, all right, I'm going to organize everything in my first aid kit. Get my first aid kit up to date. Da, 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 da. Pretty easy to do when you don't have kids at your feet, when you don't have teachers coming to you saying, "Oh, Tracy, I have to have your mind right now. I need you." Right? Well, you guys have that happening all the time. It just doesn't, that doesn't end. The children don't stop needing you. Your staff doesn't stop needing you. Strategies happen when we're rested, supported, and calm. Okay? So strategies are great. It's just how often in this week, today's Wednesday, are we, yes, more than 50% of the time, hands up, or no, hands down? How often at work are you rested, supported, and calm? It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen all the time for sure. But if you are at a place where you feel that way 50% of the time, girl, pat yourself on the back. And Kyle, dude, if that's you, pat yourself on the back. I love it. And that's really where we want to be. But I'm realistic and I know you guys live and work in complete chaos. And who you are in that chaos is what we call identity. So there's strategies, and strategies are great. And I want you to use strategies because you're using those strategies at the end of the day. When everyone's gone home, you're using those strategies when you're balancing your finances at the end of the month, right? You're alone, you're supported, you have time, and you're calm. What I want you to be thinking about, though, is that a growth mindset is a professional identity. And identity shows up when conditions are not very good. I love this the meme that's kind of out there, a motivational phrase that says, character is who you are when no one is looking. Well, professional identity is who you are when everything has gone wrong. Okay. And not necessarily wrong. It doesn't even have to be bad, but professional identity is who you are in the chaos. So when you think of like a panic situation, we tend to look to our police officers and our firefighters because somehow they just stay like these Dudley Do-Right calm people in that crazy time. Your professional identity is who you are in your childcare chaos, in your chaos at work, and when things are not going bad, not going well. Okay. And so that's a really different shift for you to think about. But when you think about your professional identity, it's going to influence how you respond under pressure and how we talk to ourselves after a hard day, how we recover when something doesn't go as planned. So, have you ever left a meeting and just said, "I'm a complete failure"? I think that if you're female, you've probably at some point in your life said these words to you because it's just something that we do. We're so self-critical. And my hope for you today is that you leave this training saying, I'm not going to shut my brain down and use words like failure and things like that. When things don't go well, you're going to think about your professional identity and understand who you are when it's a crisis and keep your brain open for growth. So don't do the things that shut you down or put you in protection mode. Harder said than done. I know. I'm just going to look at it. All right. Um, okay, let's move forward to the next one. So a strategy might say, I'll remember to do this next time. And that's important. It's important to remember to do the good thing next time. I'm not saying strategies are bad. Strategies are completely necessary. But identity says, this is how I handle myself when things are hard. So in childcare, pressure is not occasional, it's constant, and you guys have it. And a growth mindset as identity helps you respond with intention instead of defaulting to that self-criticism or that shutdown mode or the eternal overthinking. Anyone gone to bed this week and had a hard time going to sleep because you thought over and over and over about things that had to be done at work? Yeah. That overthinking piece is a big one as well. We want to really start thinking about our identity. Identity is what shows up when you're under pressure. So many childcare professionals move through their year in survival mode. And I get it. Survival mode looks like you're getting through the day, right? This is you putting out fires, reacting to whatever comes next. It is just not a personal failure. It is something that happens in childcare. But our nervous system responds to this high demand with limited resources in absolute shutdown mode. Survival mode might keep many people in the field, but it's exhausting. And if it becomes the only way we work, you will hit burnout, and burnout will lead to your business not surviving and being successful. And that's just the last thing we want. So when you're growing through the year, it doesn't mean that the problems disappear. I'm not saying, okay, guys, if you got a growth mindset, there's no more challenges at work. Yay. That's not what happens. What happens is that it means that you're going to stay open to that learning mode inside real constraints. A growth mindset is going to gently shift the questions from how do I just get through this to how am I going to grow through this without burning myself out? Just a tiny shift, right? It's a slower, steadier orientation of our emotions, our minds, and our self-talk, most importantly. So, a growing mindset is going to learn as you go. You're going to respond with intention instead of reaction. You're going to stay open even when it's hard. Keep your brain and your learning mode thinking in open ways.
Kendra,
Um,
I just wanted to lift up something that Ariel said in the chat. As soon as
yes,
it gets
yes.
quiet on the outside, my inside gets loud. I definitely
Mhm.
like that hits with me, resonates with me.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Ariel. You always have good little nuggets. Thank you. I love that. And Emily also is a 1 a.m. thinker, so I see that too. I've got it. I know. Um, so a growth-oriented professional sees themselves as a learner, not because they lack skill. Okay, I know you guys are amazing at what you do, but because learning just never stops in this field. There's always the opportunity to learn. Always, always, always. I can't tell you how many of your guys' feedback surveys that I say, like, say, what would you like to see in a next training? And y'all say, I just want to learn anything. And that's wonderful. That does mean that you're using growth mindset. When we're in seeing ourselves as a learner, okay, curiosity is going to replace this defensiveness. Okay. Mistakes become information instead of identity. This was one of the biggest things for myself is um, I'd like to not make mistakes, but that's going to happen. But the minute I started thinking about errors as a learning opportunity instead of a failure, it was amazing how much growth came for me from that. And if you think of it in your work and what you're doing, it becomes information instead of good, bad, this, that, right, wrong. And it really keeps yourself moving forward. It helps immensely, you guys, in burnout. Learning without shame is going to keep growth possible, even when feedback or change feels uncomfortable. When you choose to see yourself as a learner, you will see yourself um, open to feedback. You'll actually seek it out. You'll want it. And that feedback will not emotionally affect you. It will intellectually inspire you. Did you hear that? I'm going to just say it one more time. Learners seek feedback. And that feedback in a learning mind does not emotionally affect us, but it mentally inspires us. It inspires us to keep moving forward. So I'm going to encourage you guys to consider, are you already a learner? Are you in this learning mode? You could be, you might not be yet, but there's lots of hope and ways for you to get there. Now, the next step after you see yourself as a learner, once you've seen that, you're going to start seeing yourself as a professional. And growth mindset does not stop with children and families. It also shapes our workplace culture. Okay. So childcare is hard and mistakes happen. But in a growth mindset, this is where we're going to help teams learn and improve and support one another instead of placing blame. In your work teams, modeling a growth mindset looks like asking for help, accepting feedback, admitting mistakes, trying new strategies. Okay? When you see yourself as a professional, skill building is going to matter. Reflecting counts as work. So when you pause and just say, I'm going to talk about what went well here, and I'm going to think about what could have gone better. Okay. That's a huge part of it. And growth does not equal incompetence. Do you guys hear me? If you're growing, you are being extremely competent. Growing does not mean incompetence. No matter where you are on that spectrum, it does not mean incompetence. I almost want to make you all say it out loud with me because I know how you all internally think. Um, as an added plus, they say lifelong learning helps prevent and slow down dementia. I love it, Ariel. That is so true. Okay. So we can see ourselves as a learner and we can see ourselves as a professional. And no matter, regardless what your role is, what your title is, what you do, you can also see yourself as a leader. Okay. Leadership in childcare is not about titles. It's about,
I would have them maybe done by Friday.
sorry, mute that really quick. It is about influence. So how you talk about stress to yourself, to your team, to your coworkers, how you respond to mistakes, how you treat yourself when things are going wrong, send extremely powerful messages. The growth mindset is leadership because it shapes culture through everyday responses. And like I said before when we were talking about this, it's going to feel weird when you first start talking to your teams. Because it's pretty normal after a day to say, what was hard today? Pretty normal. But if we say, where could we have made an adjustment today? It's amazing. It's so different than saying it was a hard day. It was a day that could have been adjusted. It's just a simple little shift, but it will it'll feel uncomfortable until it is the most natural thing you do. So I just am going to really say that when you model growth mindset, regardless of your teammates, when you model it, it does reshape the culture of the workplace that you're in. So this isn't about choosing the best answer, okay? I don't want you guys to think about this. This is about noticing where you are right now today, okay? Because awareness 100% creates choice, and choice is what creates growth. I would love it if everyone would throw into the chat where you think you are right now. Are you a learner? Are you a professional? Or are you a leader right now? Are you modeling growth mindset in your workplace? Are you working towards that? Are you leading the way? I love the learners. You're all my faves. I'm a learner 24/7. And I love it. And I would love it if at some point in the next 6 months, when you find a moment that you got to be a professional or a leader, that I get an email that says, Kendra, I got a model growth mindset today. I would be so excited to hear that because it's really important for you guys to think about it. So thank you for taking the time to look at where you are. I do want to talk to you a little bit about why traditional resolutions don't work in childcare. Um, Traditional resolutions assume stable schedules. They assume predictability. They assume full control over circumstances. And we all know that childcare work does not look like that. And that a growth mindset actually respects reality instead of fighting it. It allows for flexibility instead of this all or nothing thinking. And so I want you to stop thinking about your goals for your professional growth, your professional development as resolutions. We no longer look at resolutions, okay? We are not looking at that, but we are looking at growth-based goals, okay? And a growth-based goal is about a direction. It's about not dramatic change, but it's focusing on how you practice, not just what's achieved, but how you got to that achievement. Character is who you are every step of the way, right? Well, so is growth-based goals. It's how we got there. It's going to focus you on practice, not achievement. And then this approach is going to leave room for learning and setbacks in real life. And you're not going to have shame. And that's my most biggest wish for you, okay? So setbacks happen. We know it, it happens. You can plan for setbacks. Instead of being surprised by them, difficulty does not mean you're failing. It means you're human and you're working in a very demanding field. Keep in mind that hard weeks are going to happen. Energy is absolutely going to dip and motivation can fade. We all know this. And we taught you one trick that we're going to revisit now, the if-then plans on decision makings. If you guys take a minute to think about the if-then plan can reduce decision making when you're stressed, right? Then help you respond with intention instead of defaulting to self-criticism. You can, when you're using an if-then plan, choose something realistic, something that you can actually do in a hard day. Growth mindset values follow through over ideal, perfect endings. Okay. So I encourage you to think about this. If challenges show up, then I'm going to respond in this way. You can write your if-then statement right now. So if I feel overwhelmed and discouraged, then I will simplify one thing that's in my control right now. Taking control of that one thing is there. Now, Kendra, why do you have simplify in green? You have simplify in green because the last thing I'm leaving you guys with today is to think about a word of focus. We no longer have resolutions. We have a focus word for the year. Your focus word can be adapt. It could be try. It could be lead. It could be simplify. Notice how I used simplify in mine. But if you take your if-then statements and you move them into a word of focus, it's amazing how much your brain is going to stay open and how quickly you will continue to grow and move forward from that. And so I am just so happy. And I want to leave room for people who want to say anything. Um, let's see here. I'm going to say as a professional because I sometimes feel like I deserve an Oscar for keeping a straight face.
I
Ariel,
know.
that's awesome.
This group is so funny. Some of their their feedback is just hilarious.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so what I'd really love to have for you guys to do before you leave today, again, is to tell us how we did. I am going to copy this link really quick here and throw it in the chat for you. So you can tell us how our class, how this entire I'm interested in how the entire series went for you. If you'd like to have more series like this, please in there's room for you to tell us where you can get other series, and where you can tell us other series ideas that you'd like to have as well. And then with that, I'm going to let you guys go because we are 1 minute over, but I will stay on for anyone who has questions or anything further. And thank you so much. You guys have just been such a great group. It's been an honor to do this type of training with you. It's my heart's joy. So